Kahlayim Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the elect, Akim, Aqua, scattered Israelites, Israelite foreigners. I brought this out. This video is edifying. And I'm going to reply mouth, Lord will. This video is going to be about Boeing and how Jake is involved with this scandal. Yeah, so Boeing's in the news right now. Boeing, the airline creating company, the company that builds the the airplanes, and you see this is all the recent news. Let's see here. Investors don't need to sweat the latest Boeing safety incident, which they had a whole door panel fly off in midair. Pilots asleep at the cockpit. Boeing problems. Boeing day one priority must be manufacturing. Yep, Boeing Airlines loses plane loses panel mid-flight. So last days of the Boeing whistleblower. So that's what's going on. Boeing had a whistleblower. All right, and before I get into that, Boeing at right now is a $111 billion company. So it's no small fry. But as you can see after recent news, right here in this area, it took a hit. It took a hit, drop, the stock price and all of that. But let's get into some of this news that's going on about Boeing. All right. And so I'm trying to flip the screen around, see if I can do that. All right. So as you can see, Boeing, it says here, trouble began in January when a disused emergency exit door blew off a brand new Boeing 737 MAX shortly after takeoff in Portland International Airport. And Apostle Hall just did a video in which he mentioned, you gotta be crazy to fly on a plane right now. Planes just dropping out of the sky. This is just a part of some of the signs of a decaying society. The Spirit had me just jump on that all last week. Signs, 5 signs or 10 signs of a decaying society. Everything from political turmoil. One part extremists on political sides. You have just-in-time manufacturing, which means that stores don't stock up. Now you have these stores like TJ Maxx and Aldi's and I forget some of the other ones. They're closing for a day. They're taking new days off. They're closing for one whole day, and a few other stores joined them. Right? I've never heard that in all 37 odd years of my life. I never heard stores just abruptly taking a day off nationwide. So these are some of the signs. Another sign is that you have a weakened. America's immune system is weak. Let's put it like that, because the maturity level of the average male and female, for that matter, is delayed now. So they're maturing at much later ages. Let's rewind to a time in America in which, the average age for marriage was around 16. From that point in time, you learned the concepts of adulthood. All right. And you are fast-tracked through the maturity process of your mind. Well, along the times of somewhere around corporate greed, the times of, these titans and these of industry making so much money, like the Carnegies and the Fords and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, they desired to have a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. Well, the effect of that was that people matured slower and slower, and television was used to stifle growth in so many ways. And here you are now with the lowest resource. The lowest resource is a mature adult male or female in America. That's a part of the decaying society situation that's going on present day America. And how's this all tie into Boeing? Well, here it is right now. Trouble began, this article here, trouble began in January when a disused emergency exit door blew off a brand new Boeing 737 MAX shortly after takeoff from Portland International Airport. So it's American made, right? And it blew off. It blew off the hinges. The door just flew off in the mid-flight. It says in an initial report from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board concluded that 4 bolts meant to attach the door securely to the aircraft had not been fitted. Boeing is reportedly facing a criminal investigation into the incident itself, as well as legal action from passengers aboard the plane. So yeah, last thing you think is going to happen when you're flying on a plane is the door of the plane flies off. Okay, but this is what's going on. This is because who do you have making these things? Who do you have building these? So this ties in with this man John Barnett, Boeing whistleblower. John Barnett was talking to lawyers and beginning some type of lawsuit against Boeing. Remember, Boeing is a over $300 billion company. All right. So it says Boeing whistleblower John Barnett found dead in hotel parking lot in Charleston, South Carolina, from alleged self-inflicted gunshot wound. So they saying he shot himself. Well, let's look on to what he said to his family and friends. It says, if anything, this came from Quartz. If anything happens to me, it's not suicide, friend of dead Boeing whistleblower says he told her. So the dude who's testifying against Boeing regarding its manufacturing, its poor manufacturing, right? Months after the door falls off, he's testifying against Boeing, and then they say he deletes himself. But he say he didn't. All right, who you gonna believe here? Now, what's Jake got to do with all of this? Let's see one of Boeing's latest commercials. Check this out.
Shop. I am an assembly mechanic, so I install most of the fuel systems and a lot of the wire harnesses further down the line, doing a little bit of swedging, doing a little bit of bolting and assembly work, essentially. I went through the program and went through the...
Been working in the fairings department on the 777X program. I currently work in the post-drill department, and so we're installing fasteners, doing all the installations of seals and retainers, drain tubes, that type of stuff. I would say the program prepared me.
Metal, different hole sizes, different click holes, different tools to help you learn the job. And then you learn more as you come into the door. I started
10-week program, and now I've been working at Boeing for 5 years. It did so much for me. From learning different tools, learning how to check holes, how to make sure you got good holes, how to make sure your fasteners was right. Oh my God.
So the first thing that pops out about this video is she got a drill. She working with a drill. Anybody that ain't been in construction, you ain't supposed to have no long hair situation going on. So something seems staged about this already. You got your long hair out and you're working with a drill. That drill will take your hair and twist it up inside the drill, and you won't see that hair. Another thing is, when the last time you see somebody working with drills with nails like this, man? Clean, fresh, done. Something's up, man. It's a sabotage. And we know what this whole thing is one of them diversity inclusion videos. Well, guess who's behind diversity inclusion is really Amalek. When you come to find out, Amalek is the spearhead of all diversity and inclusion throughout the world. And diversity and inclusion, or what's used to be called civil rights back in the day, it all includes people who you have no idea who these people are, like the whole alphabet community. All right, everybody, anybody is a part of this, right? So it's a part of their diversity, and this is how they take back society. This is how they take back control of the systems, right? You think they're doing it because they love you. They're doing it because it's staged. all right, to really weaken a system. Everybody know diversity is what weakens. Matter of fact, the word Babylon, when you go into search on the word Babylon, right? The Babylon is another name or nickname for America. And Babylon means to confusion by mixing. Confusion by mixing. So you can mix cultures and be confused. You can mix languages and be confused. Anything you mix, you can get a confusion from that. So Babylon is that. America is that. And as you see, it's still going on. So I wanted to now play this last clip because I mentioned the man John Barnett and how John Barnett was a whistleblower who was basically saying, look, the whole program, whatever is being put together, all these planes, they're not checking the bolts. There's no real safety measures. Y'all sending these planes out and no wonder the doors is falling off. Look, I'm the safety guy. I've been working at Boeing for 39 years. I'm 62 years old. I'm finna testify that the leadership is terrible, right? They're doing something with all the money. And, you know, again, it's a $400 billion company. They scheming money off the top, or the top people, the corporate greed is trying to find out how they can make more money, buy more yachts with the money from this company. The last thing they're thinking about is how to hire more skilled workers to do the job. So let's see what the next clip is. It's a clip from the right. Somebody created that picture. But the clip that's coming up next is from that's hilarious. The clip coming up next is from the TV show called Upload, where you know, the main character was killed. Spoiler, the main character was killed in the show Upload on Prime. If you got Prime, you can check it out. It's pretty good. And he finds out how he got killed because he thought he died in a just a car crash. Let's find out how he got killed.
And opening its new Upload, Aeon, with a record-setting 50 million souls and visitors. Aeon, the first digital afterlife to offer Las Vegas-style entertainment and gambling, will be...
Car, see the parked truck?
There is no parking space ahead of us.
I know, it's illegally parked.
Data shows no vehicles.
We're headed right for a truck.
You might be drunk. Again.
Oh, fuck you. Manual override.
Manuel. I don't see Manuel in your contacts.
Manual override. Stop.
Override.
Stop now!
Overridden.
Hey, go Boots.
Yeah.
I'm Nathan. I live across the hall. Hey, you look familiar. You play the mayor in RoboCop?
No. I'm David Choke.
Of like the Choke brothers?
Yeah.
We live on the same floor? That's weird.
Well, I've got 25,000 square feet and a 12-acre backyard once you go through that door, so I suppose it is a little weird. What did you do?
Game designer. Yeah, freeware. And a little modeling in college. I mean, it's no big deal. Mostly catalog work, a couple of commercials.
Not much money in freeware.
No. And what did you do?
Oh, not much. Just co-ran the second largest privately owned company in the world and influenced American politics for a generation.
Yeah, no, I know.
So these free games, anything with duck hunting?
No. My friend and I are making an app. It's called... Sorry, I'm blanking on the name.
You're blanking on the name of your own app.
Yeah, I've been having some memory gaps. I guess I'm just a little death-lagged. We wrote a program that allows anyone to save their own uploads. So you can create your own digital afterlife and pass it down to friends and family for free.
So you got murdered.
No, I was in a car accident.
Yeah, sure. You just threatened a $600 billion a year industry and no one murdered you. Nobody murders anybody.
Yep. So, as you can see, you know, he threatened a $600 billion industry and nobody got murdered, you know. and he thinks he didn't get murdered. Well, that's what happened to whistleblower John Barnett. All right, now let's get into these scripts. All right, so I got here Psalms 49, verse 11. And it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. That's why you have America named America Vespucci, Africa named after Leucippus Africanus, so forth and so on, Asiaticus. And so we know it's dealing with Esau here. And their inward thought is important, right? Because their outward thought, we're going to get into, is different than their inward thought, or their outward appearance is different than their inward thought. You have to trust and learn how to trust the inward thought. That's why the scripture says never trust on enemies, because he come crouching. Even though he come crouching, his evil or his wickedness shall come, basically start to show as rust shows. Just as rust comes to play, right? Something be all shiny and then it ends up rusty. Well, that's how the wickedness of the enemy is. It doesn't show up right away, but it comes naturally as time goes on. And so their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling place to all generations. So if they think they're going to constantly be in control and consistently forever be in a place of rulership and their kingdom will last forever, then they'll do whatever it takes to keep their kingdom in that stead, which means they'll kill whistleblowers, they'll murder, the innocent, they'll convict the innocent, make the guilty charge, do what they got to do, set you up, line you up, what have you. They'll do it. All right. And they'll always have Jake as a scapegoat. They play tricks on their own kind, man. Nobody's above getting lined up by Esau. He has no limitations. That's why the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yashah, sees it fit to take him out. So Psalms 50 and 16 says, but unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So the Most High do talk to the wicked of the people, who he puts in power. He does talk to them. And he's talked to them because he sees right through them, their hypocrisy. Why are you even speaking the words of the Bible? Why are you even repeating these words out the scriptures? Why do you behave or speak as if you really appreciate and value my laws? It says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casting my words behind thee, because you refuse the Lord's laws. You hate the instructions. It says, and treat my words like trash here in the NLT. It says, when thou sawest a thief, thou consentest with him, and thou hast been partakers with adulterers, meaning your dealings, all of your friends have become the wicked. You make friends of the wicked, meaning, as the NLT say, when you see the thieves, you approve of them. It says, thou givest thy mouth to evil and thy tongue for mischief. So they all together just wicked. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. It's dealing with Esau, talking about against Jake. It says, thou slanderest thy mother's son. So Esau is constantly talking about his brother, his mother's son, Jacob, and slandering him. That's why you saw that video with the Jakes. They put that and they promote that. And if anything falls on while the planes are falling out the sky, here we go. It's his niggas and their diversity. But it's really Esau. A slave is never in control. A slave is never in control. And Jake here in America, we ain't nothing but slaves. We don't get the demand to the slave master or the dictator or the king. You don't get the peasant doesn't demand to the king. He does, he requests. And if the king obliges, then only is that request granted. And as to how fast or how soon or how often that request is granted, or if he even keeps it in at all, it shows the integrity of the king. And we're dealing with Esau. So Esau is an unruly man. He's savage. He'll shake your hand, but his intentions are cruel. And we're going to go into that. It says, these things hast thou done, and I had kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. So the Lord's going to do some correcting with our evil brother Esau, evil fraternal twin brother Esau. It says, this is Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So you got to be in an understanding mindset to understand the intents are different than the actions. Somebody's actions don't add up to his intent. He might act clearly like he's hospitable and loving, but his intentions, the reason why he's doing that is because he has war in his heart. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords. So this is the whole idea. You know, the NLT uses smooth and soothing words, soft words, and smooth words. So he's a smooth, soft talking, you know, Edomite. But obviously, you know, it's drawn swords behind his back. So he's really your enemy, and that's all there is to it. The reason why the planes is falling out the sky is because corporate greed. They won't put none of that $400 billion back into buying or resourcing the right type of people to put these machines together so that they don't fall off. And things is checked 10 times over before they putting it to the air with people's lives at stake. But it's cheaper to throw these planes out there, and then the cost of one of them actually falling out the sky and paying the passengers is probably less inexpensive than making sure that everything's handled correctly in the first place. So Isaiah 32:7 says the instruments also of the churl are evil. And so the churl is defined in the NLT as scoundrels, right? And we can go inside and do a web search and everything about what churl means. If I pull it up here real quick, it'll tell me. Churl, impolite, mean-spirited person. All right, it's an archaic word for a peasant. All right, so it's a miser. So it's a mean-spirited person. Just dealing with Esau. All right. So the instruments, or, you know, as it says here, smooth tricks. All right. For instruments of the churl are evil. He deviseth, and we know that's a plot. Wicked devices. Devices are plot schemes. All right. So they plotting wicked, just like in Psalms 10 and 2. It says to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So yeah, they'll kill whistleblowers. Yeah, they'll kill whoever, because they are already destroying the poor. If these people won't stop at the poor, what makes you think you're any special? You're any better, right? It says, but liberal deviseth liberal things, right? And these are dealing with the generous. You see here, generous. It says, and by liberal things shall he stand. So there's a difference. The Lord put a difference between the wicked and their devices and their plots and schemes and the upstanding or the righteous or the generous man who dealeth generously. That's not them. We're not dealing with a generous king. Psalm 37:9, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight in themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. This was going on modern day now. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that day, that his day is coming. The Lord is laughing because he know he got the wicked in the trick bag. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow and cast down the poor and needy to slay, such as be of upright conversation. That's the elect. You see that? It's the upright conversation. And the righteous man, that the wicked is doing all of this just to destroy. You see why they deem the wicked? It says their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. Here's the point. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. So there it is, brothers. You know, the little that we have is much better than the many riches of the wicked, because all those are going to be our spoils. So let them live it up. Lamentations 4:21. Let them rejoice and be glad. This is their time. You see what they're doing with rulership. You see how wicked they are. Trying to put out the candlesticks that, you know, of these churches of the brotherhood and coming against those of upright conversation. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is laughing at him because he knows the end of his judgment is soon upon him. I brought this out this video. Is edifying. Till next time. Shalom.